and spend your rich opinion for the name of a night brawler? Give me answer to it.
Worthy Othello, I am hurt to danger. Your officer Iago can inform you, while I spare speech for something that offends me. By me that is said or done amiss this night, unless self-charity be sometimes a vice, and to defend ourselves it be a sin when violence assails us.
Now, by heaven, if my blood begins my safer guides to rule, and passion having my best judgment collied essays to lead the way, if I do but lift this arm, the best of you shall sink in my rebuke. Give me to know how this foul rout began, who set it on, and he that is approved in this offence. Though he twin with me, both at a birth, shall lose me. What? In a town of war, yet wild? The people's hearts brimful of fear, to manage private and domestic quarrel in night, and on the courting god of safety. 'Tis monstrous! Iago, who began?
If partly a find or a leagued in office, thou dost deliver more or less than truth, thou art no soldiers.
Touch me not so near. I'd rather have this tongue cut from my mouth than it should do offence to Michael Cassio. Yet I persuade myself to speak the truth, shall nothing wrong him. This is it, General. Montano and myself being in speech, there comes a fellow crying out for help, and Cassio following him, with determined sword to execute upon him. Myself the crying fellow did pursue, lest by his clamour, as it so fell out, the town might fall in fright. He, swift of foot, outran my purpose, and I returned the rather, for I heard the clink and fall of swords, and Cassio, high an oath, which till tonight I ne'er might say before. When I came back, for this was brief, I found them close together at blow and thrust, even as they were when you yourself did part them. More of this matter I cannot report, but men are men, the best sometimes forget. Though Cassio had done some little wrong to him, as men in rage strike those that wish them best, yet surely Cassio, I believe, had received from him that fled some strange indignity which patience could not pass.
I know, Iago. Sir, for your heart hurts, I will be your surgeon. Thy honesty and love doth mince this match, making it light to Cassio. Cassio, I love thee, but nevermore be officer of mine. This isle will be the death of me.
What's the matter, dear?
Come, Desdemona, 'tis the soldier's life to have their balmy slumbers waked with strife. Iago, look with care about the town. Silence those whom this vile brawl distracted. Good night.
What, are you hurt, Lieutenant?
I must owe surgery.
Mary, God forbid!
Reputation! 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 Oh, I have lost my reputation. I have lost the immortal part of myself, and what remains is bestial. My reputation, Iago, my reputation.
As I am an honest man, I thought you'd received some bodily wound. There's more sense in that than in reputation. Reputation is an idle and most false imposition, oft got without merit and lost without deserving. You've lost nothing at all unless you repute yourself such a loser. What, man, there are ways to recover the general again. You're now but cast in his mood, punishment more in policy than in malice, even so as one would beat as a fenceless dog to a frightened imperious lion. Sue to him again, and he's yours.
I will rather sue to be despised than to deceive so good a commander with so light, so discreet, and so drunken an officer. Drunk, and speak parrot, and squabble, swagger, swear, and discourse fustian with one's own shadow. O thou invisible spirit of wine, if thou hast no name to be known by, let us call thee devil.
What was he that you followed with your sword? What had he done to you?
I know not.
Is it possible?
I remember mass of things, but nothing distinctly. A quarrel, but nothing wherefore. Oh God, that men should put an enemy in their mouths to steal away their brains, that we should with joy, pleasance, revel, and applause transform ourselves into beasts.
Why, you seem now well enough. How came you thus recovered?
It hath pleased the devil drunkenness to give place to the devil wrath. One unperfectness shows me another to make me frankly despise myself.
Come, you are too severe a mораler. As the time, the place, and the condition of this country stands, I could heartily wish this had not befallen. But since it is as it is, mend it for your own good.
I will ask him for my place again. He shall tell me I am a drunkard. Had I as many mouths as Hydra, such an answer would stop them all. To be now a sensible man, by and by a fool, and presently a beast. Oh, strange, every inordinate cup is unblessed, and the ingredients is a devil.
Come, come, good wine be a good familiar creature, if it be well used. Exclaim no more against it. And, good lieutenant, I think I love you.
I have well approved it, sir. I drunk.
You or any man living may be drunk at a time, man. I'll tell you what you shall do. Our general's wife is now the general. I may say so in this respect, for that he hath devoted and given himself up to the contemplation, mark, and denotement of her parts and graces. Confess yourself freely to her, importune her help to put you in your place again. She is of so free, so kind, so apt, so blessed a disposition, she holds it a vice in her goodness not to do more than she is requested. This broken joint between you and her husband entreat her to splinter, and my fortune against any lay worth naming, this crack of your love shall grow stronger than 'twas before.
You advise me well.
I do protest in the sincerity of love and honest kindness.
I think it freely, and betimes in the morning I will beseech the virtuous Desdemona to undertake for me. I am desperate of my fortunes if they check me here.
You are in the right. Good night, Lieutenant. I must to the watch.
Good night, honest Iago.
What's he then that says I play the villain? And this advice is free I give, and honest, probable to thinking, and indeed the course to win the more again. For 'tis most easy inclining Desdemona to subdue in any honest suit. She's framed as fruitful as the free elements, and for her to win the more were it to renounce his baptism, all seals and symbols of redeemed sin. His soul is so unfettered to her love that she may make, unmake, do what she list, even as her appetite shall play the god with his weak function. How then am I a villain to counsel Cassio to this parallel course directly to his good? Divinity of hell! When devils will the blackest sins put on, they do suggest at first with heavenly shows, as I do now. For whilst this honest fool plies Desdemona to repair his fortunes, and she for him pleads strongly to the Moor, I'll pour this pestilence in his ear, that she repeals him for her body's lust, and by how much she strives to do him good, she shall undo her credit with the Moor. So will I turn her virtue into pitch, that of her own goodness make the net that shall enmesh them all. How now, Rodrigo?
I do follow her in the chase, not like a hound that haunts, but that one that fills up the cry. My money is almost spent, and I have tonight been exceedingly well cudgeled. I think the issue will be that I will have so much experience for my pains, and so, with no money at all, and a little more writ, return again to Venice.
How poor are they that have no patience? What wound did ever heal but by degrees? Thou knowest we work by wit and not by witchcraft, and wit depends on dilatory time. Dost not go well? Cassio hath beaten thee, and thou by that small hurt hath cashiered Cassio. Though other things grow fair against the sun, yet fruits that blossom first will first be ripe. Content thyself a while, by the mass. 'Tis morning, pleasure and action make the hours seem short. Retire thee, go where thou art billeted. Away, I say, thou shalt no more hear my words. Then get thee gone, get thee gone. Two things are to be done. My wife must move for Cassio to her mistress. I'll set her on. Myself the while to draw the Moor apart, and bring him jump that he may Cassio find soliciting his wife. Aye, that's the way. Dull not device by coldness and delay.